What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the 100th rendition of the Tuesday Track Talk podcast featuring our Three Stones pit crew. I'm your gas man, Cam.
I'm your jack man, Kel.
I'm your tire changer, Cam.
And we're hitting triple digits. Actually, we had the little debate. We've hit probably triple digits a couple weeks ago based on some specials and some driver interviews and stuff like that. Officially the 100th episode. Officially, we're a little bit over that with some specials, but as always, don't be afraid to like, comment, and subscribe and celebrate the triple digits officially. We always save that for the end, but for those that are listening right away, good way to celebrate and help us out. Like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, and help us keep this thing rolling. So, but before we get into talking some racing, we got another jam-packed episode for you. Let's just do a quick check-in, little heat check. How you guys doing?
Well, I think this little preview here in the next minute or so is going to be the Badger Sports report or Badger Sports check-in, and man, was it just as our good friend Jersey Jerry would say, it's a bad day. It's a sad day. It's a bad day. I didn't have that on my bingo card with Badger football.
Look, I'll go to war with anybody. I have not lost faith. We're staring down a gauntlet, and it's going to make it all the more sweeter when we rip out some wins here. Nobody counts us out. Got a good bye week here. Let's rest up. Let's 2 weeks of practice here to get right, and we're going to go up to Ann Arbor, Michigan, and shock the world in 2 weeks. So,
I hope so.
I have not lost an ounce of faith, and we're going to get this ship turned around. So,
yes, I paid attention, but I also got to the point where I had other issues happen when Kel and I was kind of briefing you on this.
Yep.
The cruise had a little issue on the way back from the track on Saturday, so just getting a look over.
Yeah,
dude, it was a bad weekend for the old roommates on Fear Street. Didn't your roommate have some car issues too?
Yeah, he did too.
Yeah, he did. He snapped me that he had to get jumped at a gas station.
You boys and your batteries, what is up?
I know. At least his was at 4:00 in the afternoon in broad daylight, whereas I was stuck in the middle of a rest stop at 12:30 in the morning off of the interstate. I wasn't exactly in a position of asking for help.
Right. Boy, tough weekend.
Yeah.
Mechanical issues there.
The old the shop here at the Fear Street is going to need a good look over. Something ain't right.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a tough weekend. Packers laid an egg too on Sunday, so overall, not a good weekend if you're a Wisconsin sports fan. So, let's get in. Before we get into racing, Jackman's on weather watch there. Sounds like he's got some funnel clouds and hail, so don't be surprised if his internet gets zapped. And we got a 2-man show here.
Well, if I lose internet, it'll kick everyone out. So if we post this and it's abbreviated or chopped, I will do my best to make a video and edit everything together so that we can at least finish it. We have it all planned out. If something goes haywire, I will fix the ending. But if for some reason, and it's dark and it just got really windy really quick, so if we go black here for a moment, just stick with me. We'll help you out here to finish this baby out.
Well, and this guy's notorious for if his internet goes out, it's a week before they get to him. So,
God, I hope not.
All right. Well, that's just a disclaimer. Throwing that out there right off the bat. But let's get rocking and rolling here and talking some racing, some local racing here with the Wisconsin State Championships. I was not there. So I'll kick it to you guys. And where do you guys want to start?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of going to focus on the two kind of bigger features of the night. So everyone had double features except for the Midwest Truckers. They had just their 50 lap show, but everyone else had two features. The late models went two 60 lap features, so they ran 3 races on the weekend. And they ran Friday night as well. So boys made a lot of laps on Friday and Saturday. But that we're going to focus more on the Saturday portion that we were actually able to get to. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, late models just good racing.
Yep. Jefferson's kind of a sneaky track when it comes to the racing product that it could put on.
Yep.
It's a lot of you got to set yourself up for a good position, especially going into one,
Yep.
where to be able to get the drive down the backstretch and set yourself up for a really good 3. But if you can pull that off, boy, you could put on some good racing. And the guys were definitely going at it. We didn't wreck a lot of stuff, at least in late model stuff, which is good.
Yeah.
We did wreck one hard in the what was it, the hobby stocks?
Hobby stocks had 2 of them. The one on the front stretch with the barriers.
Yeah.
Spun off before he hit pretty hard. And then that 1 and 4 with the hung throttle. That's the second one we've seen this year.
Oh,
Pulled the fence down, bent a few posts. Like you just saw it happen. You're like, oh boy.
you saw the roof of the car
Yep.
type of scenario. That's yeah.
Both drivers were able to get out.
Yep.
Both were checked. So they both got out slow because those were both some pretty wicked hits. But both were able to get out, so that's good news. I'm sure sore and a little dinged up, but man, those are 2 hard hits.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, the late models were pretty timid. In the first feature, would we have 1 caution? I think in the 60 lapper, 1 or 2.
Yep. And even then it was Bilderback. He started up front. You knew he was going to be a threat, at the beginning of that one. And he just kind of bided his time, got
Yep.
picked off a couple of guys. He kind of bided his time there in second place. And um, as the guys were kind of going at it behind them, the mid pack racing was really good
Yep.
through that one though, too.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think when you look at it, like when we talk about late model racing around up here, that second feature went green to checkers for all 60.
Yep.
And the thing about Jefferson is you kind of talked about it a little bit, and we'll talk on it on the Midwest when we talk on the truckers a little bit too, but it's a unique place because you want to be on the bottom in 1 and 2, but you can run the middle-ish top in 3 and 4. So, it's kind of both ends are very different. So it's a unique place to try to get around, just being it's the bottom. And then if you get pinched on the bottom in 3 and 4, you could lose a couple spots too.
Yep.
So, but no, that late model feature we had our little delay there. We fought the weather a little bit, got through that. We had our little delay for the fence post. We're like, man, we were kind of talking about like how late's too late to just like hit the road. And
Yep.
that late model feature just clicked them off at 14 seconds a lap, green to checkers for all 60.
Didn't need to worry about time at all,
No.
but the guy, and even then, again, we went all the way through, but the guys were racing hard. I
Yep.
mean, we had those couple of 3 wide instances. We're like, I don't know if this is gonna work or not.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, you had a few 3 wides, but I mean, really, like you had guys that were racing for points, racing for the championships for the weekend. But um, again, it was just good hard racing without wrecking each other.
yep.
And I think, to be honest, that kind of leads us right into the truck race as well. So
Yeah,
I
which
mean,
has a strong history of being one of the cleaner series to run, but
absolutely,
then some of the hardest racing you're gonna see too.
yeah. I mean, those guys are, and we've kind of mentioned it too. Those guys are so even. They're
Yep.
just so even. So track position came at a premium, and that truck race, we only had 1 caution for a spinner and 1 stop to avoid. Everyone rolled away, and everyone put them back in the trailers in one piece.
Yep.
So But no, the truck race, because when you're looking at the points battle, and we can talk on this just a little bit here real quick. You got Grant Griesbach and Brandon Reichenberger running for the points. And every heat race, you're counting how many spots each guy's getting.
Qualifying.
Qualifying, yep.
We mentioned this for like the dirt late models portion of it. Every lap matters.
Yep. Qualifying was the qualifying went to 60. He was quickest in qualifying. Brandon got a spot more in the heat races than the 60 did, so he got a couple back there. I don't really know how it shook out, but ultimately Brandon got by the 60 in the feature, so finished one spot better to get on the podium for him. So I want to say they came out even on the weekend. Wherever they were, they came in. They were
Yep. They scored same amount of points both days. So it's -4 is where we're sitting at in the point standings.
So yeah, I mean, those heat races aren't just let's ride around and see what we got or drop to the tail and make some hard laps to get a good read. It's okay, we have to pass trucks.
Yep.
And it keeps the heat races exciting. Keeps guys in it. So there really is no gamesmanship because you just have to race. But yeah, I mean, that one, again, like I said, we only had one spin and up in the middle of 3 and 4, one stop to avoid everyone rolled away. Those two trucks finished the race.
Yep.
We had a few that didn't finish but just pulled in, but
Yep.
No wrecked equipment.
And Eugene Gregorich and Robbie Rocks had themselves a hell of a fight there for the lead. Yeah. As that race went on too.
Again, it was a good old short track race, a little tap, nothing too aggressive, a little tap, see what you got. Nobody wrecked anything. Guys running different lines in 3 and 4. Guys just moving around to try to find speed.
Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know. Super impressed with those two races in particular, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you have to think, they got 2 races left on the schedule yet for the truckers, so 2 points races. So, in the back of your mind, you're going, well, we've got 2 weekends here if something goes haywire to get ready for Oktoberfest. So that could have played a part to it, but again, good hard racing, clean to the finish, and just good short track racing.
Yep. Robbie Rux, again, being strong. Obviously, we were there earlier in the year with the truck series, showing that he's still a guy to beat. But Gregorich he sneaks a win in every now and then. But then, yeah, just taking advantage, or Brandon taking advantage of the outside to be able to get around Griesbach there at the end and hold off Griesbach. He was coming, he was fighting. Yep. He got around him and kind of pulled away, but then he kind of caught back up to him. And
yeah, for sure. Good battles again throughout the field. You get that place is sneaky for running too wide for a long runs.
Yep.
So, yeah, just honestly, just a really good short track race.
Yep. No, really glad I made the decision to go down. Obviously, Elko was closer for me, but glad I made the decision to go down there.
Yeah, and actually, speaking of Elko, the Midwest Tour points are also a 4-point difference between the top 2 guys for
4 or 3.
3 or 4, one of the 2, going into their championship weekend at Oktoberfest. Gabe Summers and Casey Johnson. So, got some exciting storylines going into next weekend. Yeah. They're racing for a title going into Oktoberfest. So, lots of storylines to follow in terms of the truckers being the penultimate race on the schedule in terms of obviously the point leaders and in setting themselves up for what will be the following at the Dells for their championship race, but also Midwest Tour having a absolute hell of a points battle going into the final race of the year for them.
We were talking earlier here that it was kind of like Johnson was dominating and he was going to run away with it, and he's had a few bad weeks, not of his own doing. And Sommers just kept clicking him off, and here he is at a track that he's won at lacrosse before too.
Yeah. So it'll be lots of racing up there.
you want to talk about having a lot of practice time, you get 3 nights, you get 2 nights of racing and your qualifying night on Saturday to really get her dialed in.
Yep. So, and then you have to remember, the truckers have the chance to run that 602 race as well.
Yep.
So they got that. It's kind of like what Slinger does with their craters. It's kind of the same deal. That again, I believe that are racing for a motor again, I believe, or a random draw. One of the two. There's a motor.
Yeah, they race it's a random draw for the motor.
So there's a chance to run if you're on that 602 race. There's a chance for a motor. So again, not something to bat an eye at.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, lots of exciting storylines coming into the last few races we have up here for the Midwest asphalt racing scene.
Wrapping up the Wisconsin year strong.
Absolutely. So,
yeah, I think we're to the point. I mean, really across, not that it doesn't early in the year, but I mean, we're to the point now where it's every time you're on that track, every lap, every position, everything counts. And if you've looked the car over twice, look it over again because you can't afford, I mean, these points battles, an engine issue, anything like that, we can't afford it as we get down the stretch here because the battles aren't getting any, the point difference is not getting any wider. If anything, it's getting more narrow. So we got some big races coming up in the area. The old Fest is Best is right around the corner. So it's not this weekend, but the following weekend. Always a heck of a showdown in La Crosse. So that'll be coming up, and we'll have for sure 2 booths on the ground. The old tire changer.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
Any other final thoughts?
No, good weekend.
Yep.
Damn good weekend, actually.
Just classic, just like you said, classic short track Wisconsin racing.
Yep.
Then let's go talk a little dirt super late models at the old Knoxville Nationals for a cool 75 grand here. 3-night show, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I think we'll spend a little time here just touching on the main event on Saturday night. Ultimately, Hudson O'Neill gets the big payday. He comes from 15th to win that sucker on Saturday night. But I don't know how much you guys got to watch. Got any thoughts? But I would not pick Hudson O'Neill to win that race based on what went down on Thursday night.
I was just about to say, talk about going from wrecked to the top. I mean, that car was destroyed on Thursday.
That thing was junk. Like bad junk. Yeah, but again, just proving that team really has got the season turned around in terms of finding speed wherever they go. So their points reset. So they got their final 4 that are going to be racing for championship. Ricky Thornton Jr., point leader, defending series champ. Jonathan Davenport slots in 2, Moran 3, and Hudson O'Neill 4. So those are your 4 guys racing for a championship.
Which I feel like those are the 4 guys that I think all of us would have picked to be in it.
Yep. Shepard's on the first one on the outside looking in with Alberson 6th, Overton 7th, Wilson 8th, Ferguson 9th, and Donald McIntosh 10th. So, yeah, that's kind of where they shake out. But, I mean, we were kind of talking about it a little bit. Knoxville is a place that is it's just hard on equipment. Like, you got guys coming in motors with the tongues just absolutely hanging out because it's so big and fast and aerodynamically dependent. That place is just tough on equipment collectively.
And I think too, you couple that with, big half-mile track like that. There's no room for error. That's
No.
a, so to speak, super speedway of dirt super late model racing. If you're going around and you're wrecking, you are, it's like likely you're going to be headed off on the hook. But I mean, yeah, like you said, it's a unique challenge. Half mile. I feel like Saturday night, from the little bit I did watch, it was pretty racy. The track actually was pretty racy. But I know Thursday night they were battling weather, and Friday night was okay. But it's just a big track, high speeds, aero dependent. It's narrow at times, and it can be tough to pass. But yeah, Saturday night track's pretty solid, fairly racy, and to your point here, talking about the top four here, the old mailman Devin Moran and Jonathan Davenport led them to the green, and those two, they were going at it there for the first, I don't know, 50 or so laps, going back and forth, and that wasn't until I think lap 55, Hudson O'Neill methodically worked his way up there, started deep, all the way back from 15th. He goes up there, grabs the lead, and then talking about points battling and can't have something go wrong. Ultimately, Davenport pulls in late in the night there with mechanical issue, so that ends up ruining his night. And then so Hudson O'Neill got the win. Ricky Thornton Jr. finishes third, and then Devin Moran finished fourth. Devin Moran finished third. Brandon Shepard finished fourth. Dalton Wilson with a solid run, rounding out your top five. But
And Knoxville, I think it just feels like it's one of those places you either love it or hate it. Just one of those. It's a love hate with that place. Either you really like going there, or you really like, let's just get out of here unscathed.
And for once, Davenport didn't have anything bad to say. He kept it relatively neutral. Just said, he had a good car, but he just said whenever he shows up there, it doesn't matter what they do to the car, he just never feels comfortable in it. Whether it's bad, fast, whatever, he just never feels comfortable. But he didn't say it was a dump or anything. Kept it clean this year. But yeah, that will be those four there that you mentioned in the point standings there. That's going to be an interesting stretch here coming up. And I'll pose this quick question to you guys. Who do you guys think ultimately wins the championship out of those four?
RTJ. I just don't know that JD's got enough races to make up the point difference. He's going to pretty much have to pretty much go meticulously sweep the end of the season to
I think Ricky's got I think he's got 70-point lead, is it?
Yep. 70-point lead.
And knock on wood. I guess my thought is I think Ricky Thornton Jr. is going to ultimately win it. But I feel like, we have the sky high expectations for him, what he was doing with that SSI Motorsports team last year. He was winning literally anything he entered. I don't feel like he's entirely done that with his new Kohler Motorsports team. But the guy's like a mosquito. He's just always buzzing around you, and he's just consistent. Like he's finishing the races where he needs to finish. He runs well.
Yep, they got 6 events on the schedule, including 2 nights at Eldora for the Dirt Track World Championships. So JD is going to pretty much have to be meticulous in terms of qualifying heat races and ultimately features. So,
and looking at last year's races, of the six, Thornton won one, Moran won one, and Davenport won one.
Yep.
So take it for what you feel like it's worth.
There's good parity in the field.
Yeah. And I think we're kind of where we'd expect. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about it. I mean, he finished fifth in the points, but I think you could argue, a little bit of a disappointment there for the old Rocket One team and Brandon Shepard not being in that top four. But
just a couple seasons ago, that was the championship car with Hudson O'Neal.
Yeah, that's I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But last part there, making himself. He's really had a breakout year here, finishing sixth in the points there. Until he got his door up there, the old GA 58, Garrett Alverson, sitting there sixth in the points. Then I think we can say for him, truly a breakout year for him.
Stock up big time.
Yeah. So that will be it's be interesting to follow come down the stretch here between those four. So any other final thoughts on Knoxville?
Nope.
Outside of we got it. What was that?
Playoff time.
Yeah, before we get to playoff time there, just got to work on Thursday night. There's a lot of people chiming in on social media saying the amount of cars they wrecked. Well, wrecked about $500,000 in equipment on that Thursday night. So it's not ideal when you got a 3-night show and that's how you start the weekend off. But the question would be, so did Hudson O'Neal break even or not? Cash in, because he smashed his car up awfully on Thursday night, but ultimately gets that $75,000 win. So say maybe came out a little bit ahead, but
good chunk of that money went to the race car.
Correct. They garnished his wages after Thursday night. So yeah. Well, let's rock and roll here. And as our tire changer just said, let's talk playoffs.
Oh, I was even talking about playoffs about dirt, but this works too.
Oh, yeah, true. That's when you know it's championship season, when it's playoffs across the board. Let's talk NASCAR at New Hampshire. Obviously, the tire changer's just chomping at the bit. He's got his Menards shirt on. He looks like he's a crew member. Yep, just jazzed up. He's waiting for the segment. But there's definitely some storylines within this race that we got to hash out. But I'll just kick it to you guys where you want to start. Thoughts on New Hampshire and this playoff race?
Well, I think we got to start with the monkey or the elephant in the room, which Joe Gibbs Racing.
Let me say this. Did we all see the Hamlin versus Gibbs wreck?
Yep.
Okay. Then we can have a conversation about it.
They're racing for 11th. They're racing for 11th.
Correct, but it's also that, Hamlin's going for a championship, and as we this is a round where you really got to start thinking about points and having decent runs and this, that, and the other. And Gibbs is also trying to still get his win as well. He's coming off of a pretty decent Bristol run.
Yep.
Not exactly having a top 10, top 5 run at Hampshire, but you're still running the laps too. So I can't put all the blame on Gibbs. But
and I threw in the group chat and you guys were cracking up at it, but boy, those boys didn't manipulate that race at all. They just decided to wreck. Well, and my thing with the situation is I understand the frustration from Hamlin. Do I want Gibbs to just pull down and get out of the way? No, I don't. Did he need to race him as hard as he did? Maybe not. But in the same sense, when he got turned, you know who could have been a big casualty in that? Bell. And that'd have been 3 of the 4 Gibbs cars right there. Like, obviously, Hamlin got through there scotch free just based on the way he turned, turned him, however you want to describe it. But that 20 car had to get on the binders just to not get pinched in the wall and get wrecked himself. And you're talking about somebody that a lot of people have him marked down as when we go to Phoenix, he's going to have a crack at this.
Yep.
So you talk about 2 guys that were frustrated with each other. You could have threw Bell in that meeting on Monday morning and said, what the F, you 2 guys? Like, I was an innocent bystander. I got wrecked by you 2 clowns.
Well, and it's also the classic, like, it doesn't matter if you're running for the win or if you're running the mid pack, which is in this scenario. Race your teammate hard, but don't wreck them.
Yep.
Like, just that general rule of thumb, the unspoken rule, came into play today or in that race.
And ultimately, right, like Denny was calling for someone from Gibbs to go talk to him, and we're going to have a conversation around this. And of course, they asked Joe Gibbs himself, like, what's going on? Like, what are you going to do? And he said, nope, that's for the drivers to talk about.
And then both of them, I mean, given, you know it's going to happen in their interviews, but you want to talk about completely dodging the question that was asked.
They asked Gibbs about it. I'm excited for next week. Okay. That was very Kyle Busch-esque answer.
For a guy that doesn't have the Kyle Busch-esque resume.
Bingo.
So
I'm ready for next week. Yeah. Whatever.
So I got a couple thoughts. First, I will start with Denny did cut that promo a couple weeks ago when he won that race. Either get on the bandwagon or get out of the way. And so, I mean, the old 54 team isn't getting out of the way. And I guess this is where I lean. I feel like, another point. I mean, I feel like that's one way for Gibbs to keep his name relevant because it sure isn't winning races. But I was listening to a little bit of Door Bumper Clear, and like Freddie Kraft said, like Gibbs has got to figure it out, and he just doesn't seem like he's having fun doing it right now. And then you bring over Chase Briscoe, and in his first year at the same shop, at the same equipment, that guy's putting it on the pole. He's winning races, and you could argue he is going to be a threat to win it all as well. And so you just, it's kind of like Hendrick. Same thing as Hendrick with Alex Bowman. You got 3 drivers who are consistently running well, producing. And then you got that little bit of that black sheep there that's lagging behind, a little bit of the outlier. And I don't know. If I'm Hamlin, to be honest, I'm good with it, with how it transpired.
I'm still at the part of you don't wreck a teammate. Like,
Frustrated, yeah.
Ultimately, what ended their day? No, but it sure as hell ruined their day.
Yep.
So I'm going to come at it from this: is Denny's been in this sport for what, 20 years, and he is the one thing that everybody asks him at the beginning of every year is, what's the $1 million question? Is this going to be the year? He's chasing that elusive championship, and I don't know. He is in playoffs, and I just don't feel like, I mean, do I need Gibbs to pull off on the apron and let him go by? No. But I mean, they were banging doors for laps.
I loved how they were out. The camera was on them, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna hang with this battle for the next lap or 2, and then going into 1, just sail it off in there and wreck them."
Was it 1 or was it 3?
Going into 1.
1. So I don't know. there needs to be. It was wrecking him a little bit far. Now again, Denny didn't say he wrecked him. Denny said he made a mistake, and he would have done that to anybody else that would have been out there. But
Was it a mistake?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There were some comments
was
about some guys having their name on the building too.
yeah, he did say that today. He said, I would think that as a playoff driver, he would want somebody racing for his team with his name on the building to win this championship. So,
Got it.
I was wrecking him a little bit far. Yes. But there's got to be some understanding from Ty Gibbs of like, dude, I understand your frustration for the entire year and still winless and not having the year that you wanted. But damn it, I would be pissed at you two if you guys were racing me like that out there. You guys are on the outside looking in, and I'm racing for a championship. Like I said, you don't need to pull off on the apron or run it into the wall. But hey, just
Give me the line.
Yeah, give him an extra half a car.
Give me the line.
It's for real. And like Denny said, he's like, my God, he's like, Ross Chastain even let me go by.
It's a playoff guy. A manufacturer.
So,
and I'm bringing up old history, and it's not apples to apples, but Gibbs has wrecked a teammate when there's a championship going on too, i.e. Brandon Jones at Martinsville a couple years ago, handful of years ago.
He sailed it off in there and took him out.
When you could have had another Joe Gibbs teammate in the playoffs and you took him out.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the only really. There's a few other battles on the racetrack too that kind of had storylines to go with them as well.
Well, I think the other one that is along the same lines would be this Cody Ware and Austin Dillon one. Like, again, I don't know how much you guys saw that, but it's like, why are we doing what we're doing?
And I hate to be the guy that does this, but I'm going to say it. Of course, it was those two guys.
Well, what makes this bad is that Cody Ware looked like he tried to get payback, but spun himself, really wrecked himself in the process.
Yep.
Like,
that's the old adage of if you're gonna wreck somebody, you got to be able to not wreck yourself.
Correct. Talk about making yourself look bad.
Yeah.
For another guy that's running for Dad's team.
Correct. Yeah, a couple red noses in the field. The old clown show was out a little bit.
Yeah. But I think the one that.
Yep.
I was going to say the one battle that I think was good and was good to see, just good hard racing, was the one there at the end, Blaney and Barry.
Yep. And we talked about it, a little bit. Like, again, poor old Barry couldn't finish the race in the first round. Then he does this. Like,
if he didn't spin earlier in the race,
if he's still alive, like he puts on that performance, you're going, that could change the playoff standings in a hurry.
Oh, yeah.
So,
first off, talk about being able to turn that race around.
Yep.
Going from what you had a great qualifying effort that got you up front, getting spun there on that first restart that sent you all the way back, lost a set of tires, and then be able to come back up and put in a hell of an effort to fight for the win.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, I think that
usually we do winners for our nominations for Wheelman of the Week, but god damn it, he's putting up a good argument.
Yeah, for sure. And I think when you talk about Barry, let's just talk about the Penske camp collectively.
Oh,
dude, I was watching it and I'm like,
had a day.
I'm just like, here we go again. it gets to be playoffs, and Roger's not worried about IndyCar anymore, and I literally was just sitting there watching Logano click off laps, and I'm like, dude, here we go again. It hits playoffs, and Penske, that's been running 10 to 20 all year, all of a sudden is running 1 to 10. And I'm
You
like,
got to
we're gonna
run
do
through
this.
Penske.
We're gonna do this shit again. We're gonna get a Penske car that I shouldn't say. I guess I should back off a little bit because Blaney has been solid all year, and I would think I put him in the final four. But the whole Logano camp in the 22, yeah, I don't know what it is, but it's like it just hits playoffs, and like some guys got it and some don't. That's Penske when it comes to playoffs.
Yeah. Cindric was the lone man out in this situation where he didn't exactly have the run that he wanted to. But again, when you get essentially 3 of your 4, if you're including Barry as a satellite team, you get 3 of your 4 guys to have amazing runs.
Yep. And when you look at the playoffs and how like the standings shake out, let's talk about that for a minute. So we go into Kansas next week. You got Kansas in the roll over your last 2 races here in this round. But you look at it again, Cam, it's kind of that old adage of the mosquito deal. He's kind of around there again. Logano is freaking 24 to the good. But you look at the bottom, and this is where it gets interesting because you have your bottom 2 cars. I'm going to argue that these 2 guys are going to have a good chance to win it, and Tyler Reddick and Bubba Wallace of Kansas.
I think this is going to be one of their only chances to win.
Yeah, correct. And when you talk about a raw speed thing, those 2311 cars are going to be good at Kansas.
Yep. On the flip side of that, again, topping back to New Hampshire here, a guy that he needed a good run, didn't look like he was going to get it, but did get it, Chase Elliott.
Yep.
Like, we all had him like, what is going on with that camp? He comes out and, hey, forget about me.
Well, up until Sunday afternoon, that was right on course.
Oh, 100%.
Hey, what do we I mean, starting 27th is unacceptable for that camp.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean,
looking at the standings here, looking at the bottom, Elliott's 7th, 14 to the good. Briscoe is 8th, 12 to the good. And then you go to the bottom, it's Chastain 12 out, Cindric 19 out, Reddick 23 out, Bubba 27 out. You could be looking at, so here's theoretically speaking, if you have a Bubba or Reddick or somebody below the cut line win at Kansas next week to lock themselves in, you're looking at potentially pushing Briscoe to the bad going into the Roval.
Well, and I even say too, like if I'm Elliott, who's in 7th, two positions to the good right now and down, like I'm already shaking my boots because I've got to have a good race at Kansas and hope that I don't end up in some kind of shit show at the Roval.
Yeah, the Kansas race for that camp that might just be a points race. Let's just go get stage points. And maybe it's not going to set us up to win the race, but maybe we just give ourselves a little buffer.
Yeah.
Because even then, if you have a 2311 car win the race, you give yourself a little buffer going into that Roval.
You're setting yourself up in the shop to win the race. If you know you can't win the race as soon as practice and qualifying goes through, you're points racing.
Yep, you got 2 strategies. It's very simple. If you go try to win the race, you're going to kind of inadvertently score some points. But if you just unload and you're not great, then let's just flip the script and let's go strategy calls and let's try to win a stage or 2.
Yep.
Let's go score points in the first stage. Let's just flip the strategy and do something different to give yourself a little less of a chaotic Roval.
Yep.
So, yeah, yikes.
I know watching the entirety wasn't all there, but how did we feel about just the pure racing standpoint of New Hampshire? Like, are we seeing good racing out of New Hampshire? Is it a subpar good race? Like, what are we seeing?
It's a B. Not stellar. I don't hate it.
Yeah, I caught a little bit. I caught the beginning chunk of it and the end chunk. I missed the middle portion. And from what I saw, like at this point, like I feel like it's serving its purpose. Um, I wouldn't say it was bad. Um, but by no means did we just, hit a grand slam. Um, Again, from a pure racing aspect, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I would say B plus. Like it did its job. It wasn't a absolute snooze fest, but it wasn't like
It wasn't a banger. It
not-
wasn't.
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't the headline of the news this morning.
Well,
We didn't wake up.
understandable.
We didn't wake up this morning texting each other in the group chat saying, "Damn, I can't get over that New Hampshire race last night or yesterday." But I don't know. That is a unique track.
Yeah.
Just that flat little thing that is guys running all over that thing.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
I guess you guys have any other final thoughts on New Hampshire? If you don't have any other final thoughts, I think we could just briefly touch on here. I know we've touched on a little bit, but I feel like this is going to be a running theme here of just looking at that lovely cut line here and expectations here moving forward. So, guys, got any other final thoughts on New Hampshire?
Decent.
Well, I guess let's just go around the table. What was your what's the final call in the Hamlin Bell situation? Fair or foul?
In between.
No, it's fair or foul. It's A or B.
I think it's a foul on Hamlin.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going fair.
I think foul because if you collect Christopher Bell, you're
No, but we
your
didn't.
ass is in a pickle.
I'm on the pure stance. You don't wreck a teammate. I don't care if you're Hendrick. I don't care if you're Gibbs. I don't care if you're playoff racing or you're not. You don't wreck a teammate.
Do you think it was that intentional?
Yep.
Do you think it was very intentional, or do you think he was just like, all right, I'm going to drive this thing in here a little bit harder. I had enough of it. And do you think the end result was more severe than what Hamlin was intending to do?
Regardless of the intent, it was a lot more severe than what Hamlin wanted it, regardless of intent.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's only one person that knows what the intent was and how much intent there was.
The radio history of the conversation leading up to that point tells me intent.
So again, I'm on the stance if you don't wreck a teammate, so I'm on the foul of Hamlin.
Okay.
Plain and simple.
I'm gonna go fair, and I'm gonna go off of more of the fact of Ty Gibbs. Don't take your anger and frustration out at your teammate who's been an icon and legend of the sport for the last 20 years and is trying to get a championship for the first time in his career.
Yeah, like I said, they didn't manipulate that race, that's for sure.
Hey, buddy, I'm not asking you to pull up to the wall or down in the apron, but hey, give him an extra half a lane and still hammer down. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what comes of it because there's going to be the follow-up questions going into next weekend. If we don't hear anything, which we haven't heard much today, going into the weekend, the first time a reporter gets to ask Denny, the first question that's going to be fired away is, what were the conversations that you had this past week at the shop with the 54 team? So stay tuned to that conversation. But let's just do a quick check-in here. Well, I'll just rattle off the top 5 here. Blaney gets the win at New Hampshire. Josh Berry finishes 2nd. William Byron 3rd. Logano 4th. Chase Elliott 5th. Christopher Bell 6th. Kyle Larson 7th. Michael McDowell 8th. Ross Chastain 9th. Chase Briscoe 10th. So 2 Toyotas in the top 10, 5 Chevys, and 3 Fords. So let's turn the page here quick and discuss a little bit of that little lovely cut line. So we're heading into Kansas in the Roval. And here's where we sit. Logano is 6th in the points, 24 to the good. Elliott is 7th at 14 to the good. Briscoe is 8th at 12 to the good. And then we go below the cut line, which is Chastain, who's 12 back. Cindric is 19 back. Reddick is 23. And Wallace is 27. Quick hitter here. Those guys below the cut line. What you expected, not what you expected. Do we have one of those 4 that's below the cut line right now put themselves through? If so, who and when? Let's get a go. I just posed about 10 questions, you guys. So quick thoughts from you.
There's going to be one, and I don't know who it's going to be. It's going to come from the 2311 camp. If anyone's going to do it, it's going to be Bubba or Reddick at Kansas. Rest is going to be pretty status quo. I think looking at the picture where it's at now, I think I would have flipped Elliott in one of the 2311 cars where they currently sit. I just am kind of surprised 2311s, I don't want to say struggled in the playoffs, but they haven't ran as strong as they traditionally have.
Well, I would say, I mean, we talked about it, I think, last week or the week before. Reddick being winless did not have that on my bingo card this year.
Yeah. This is the week that potentially gets righted.
So as I'm sitting here, though, and I'm looking at this, and I can't help but think that 2 car might have something to say this coming weekend.
I'm not 100%. I'm not on board with that. Just because this isn't a super good Ford track. But I also I think Cindric's saving him. There's a race out of these 3 races that's circled on his list. And I don't think it's Kansas.
I mean, he was a certified road racer in the Xfinity Series before he got the call up.
And I think if out of the 3 races that were in this round, I think he had the Roval circled as his race.
I know it's not super speedway. I guess my thought was I know it's not super speedway, but Kansas is a big wide track. You've been there. Multiple lanes. It's not Atlanta, but I feel like it's a little bit Atlanta-esque.
That's an engine program track. I feel like.
Yep.
With a little bit of driver. I mean, you see, it's you hit right on it. The multiple lanes. Like, it's the guys that can find the speed throughout a run. That's who it benefits.
Yep.
Quick question here for you. I'm in agreement. I think Bubba and Reddick have both won here, so they obviously in 2311 cars, so they're obviously going to be a threat to get it done. If there, as it stands there, is there anybody currently in the playoffs there? Probably looking at Logano, Elliott, Briscoe, any of those guys that you could see getting themselves eliminated.
Elliott.
I would agree with that statement.
Elliott's still on my hot list.
So I would ask this question: Elliott's 14 to the good, Briscoe's 12 to the good. Would you still go Elliott over Briscoe?
To go out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I think the 19 car is going to be pretty fast to Kansas.
And I think he could run a decent enough road course race at the Roval to keep him alive.
Yep.
Elliott doesn't have the road course finesse like he used to have. I
Yep.
feel like. And
Yeah, he
Briscoe's
isn't. He hasn't quite figured out
consistent
in this
enough.
car. Yep.
So I'm on the Elliott's still on a you gotta hit cross every I or cross every T and dot every I.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we are gonna find out. And I am looking forward to Kansas. I love when they go to Kansas. Kansas fun track. Touched on it. A lot of lanes you can run, a lot of moves to be made, a lot of passes to be had, and we got some good storylines going into the weekend. So it is shaping up to be a fun weekend. So, any other final thoughts on the NASCAR Cup Series?
Nope.
No. Solid race. Got our storylines both out of this one and going into Kansas.
Yep.
Okay, let's hop into some news. And pardon me, I'm not sure what color I was assigned, but
I don't think we really ever really decided.
I'll go
I'll go
white.
white. Oh,
Oh,
okay.
go ahead.
Oh,
Van Girl, what do you want?
I'll take green.
All right.
And I'll go orange.
Okay.
Not sure if anybody saw this. This was quietly snuck out prior to the announcement, but if you didn't see it last week, Rico Abreu announces in 2026 he will be driving for Tony Stewart Racing in the number 24 car. Rico is bringing his crew chief and partners with him, and High Limit has approved of the franchise from Rico Abreu Racing to TSR. So, I think it was the old Jackman that was on it after Rico put out that tweet. And Jackman had his thinking cap on, and about an hour before the announcement when he put that out, Kellen was on it right away. So that is going to be an interesting pair. Seems like they're already having fun with it, and we'll see if Tony Rico brings the resurgence of Tony Stewart Racing in sprint car.
And the way that I interpret it is that it's still Rico's show. He runs it. It's got his crew. Excuse me, basically his equipment. He's just got Tony Stewart's backing.
The resources from TSR. Yep.
Yep. Like Rico, it's your show. Run as you see fit.
Yep.
I feel like this is going to be quite a pairing, to be honest with you.
I could see this being a deadly pairing.
Oh.
Because we know, Tony's a dirt guy at heart. He always says that, and he's spent his time in a wing sprint, and he's obviously passionate about the sport. And then you get the partner with the funding and the resources, and you pair that with the driver who you could argue is one of the hottest drivers in sprint car racing right now.
And is on the verge of winning a championship in his second full-time championship year.
We're talking title for Rico Abreu next year.
So I'm guessing the old World Outlaws took that like a baseball bat on the shins that TSR is making the switch to high limit, but I don't know. I'm really excited for that pairing to see what happens. That will be fun. So
Wait for Hale Jr. to kind of drop the news a little early too.
Yeah. Kind of snuck that one in there 15 minutes early on everybody.
yeah, classic Dale. Second bullet point here. Sticking along the Tony Stewart news, he will drive the top field car for Elite Motorsports next year as his wife returns to her seat. Tony Stewart Racing Nitro and Elite have a marketing and hospitality alliance that will combine assets, offering partners more opportunities. So, Tony Stewart's wife will be back in the seat next year. He will be driving a top field car for Elite Motorsports, kind of under the same banner or pairing, so to speak. So, Tony Stewart can't get him out of the seat. He'll be racing something forever.
You know, it's pretty good when you win the regular season championship and you still get kicked out of your ride.
Yeah.
Yep. And then have to turn around and race against that car next year.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. I'd like to see them go head to head.
Oh,
That'd be
Stewart's just having fun with this whole deal, though, too.
cool. Well, he's having fun. He's also winning. That's the only thing about it.
You're always having fun when you're winning. It's a lot easier.
Always.
But I feel like he's on like cloud nine with the sprint, with the drag racing and the success he's had in that in a short amount of time. And now he's got, a pairing with one of the hottest sprint car drivers in the world. A lot of positive stuff in Tony's life right now.
And a family. He's got a little kid running around.
Yep. Jumping to the next couple news bullet points here. Going back to NASCAR charters. Well, Legacy Motor Club and Rick Ware Racing have settled their charter lawsuit as they kind of gone back and forth. And this is where it gets interesting. Legacy has acquired that charter. So Legacy will be adding a car to the Cup Series in terms of their banner, taking one from Rick Ware Racing. So they've got the charter now. It'll be who they decide to put in that car. So finally some settlement in a lawsuit case, which is always good to see. And then talking a little dirt kind of connected to NASCAR. So we've kind of been tracking the Mansfield revival with Tift owning that racetrack now. The World of Outlaw Late Models, as of today, just announced that they will have 2 days, a weekend of races there at Mansfield in 2026 for that track's revival. That weekend will be tagged the 57 Special, May 29th and 30th. Some good money on the line. 29th, 12 grand to win, $1,000 to start. And then the 30th will be the big one, 57 grand to win, $5,700 to start the race. So talk about track being revived and then bringing in a big series like that. What a way to do it when you bring in a series like that and put up the change like that to do so. So
pretty quick turnaround there for the old Mansfield. To have a revival, and we talked about it, to get a big show like that in its first year, that is big for that track.
Yep.
Yeah.
Last couple bullet points here, as Cam would say, Spencer Hughes announces that he will pilot the RBT and KB Motorsports K3, say that 3 times fast, dirt late model with a schedule to be announced in the near future. Of note, this is the team that he started his dirt late model career with, so kind of going back to his roots, as some would say.
Yep.
And then finally, David Malukas. This one kind of got snuck under the radar. I just missed it. But David Malukas is replacing Will Power in that Team Penske race car here coming up. So be interested to see what he does, and honestly, probably some of the top equipment out there. So.
Yep.
Any other? I was going to just pull up my old X, see if there's any other random news coming up that we didn't have on there. Is there anything else you guys got? You guys can think of?
No.
Nope.
Okay. Then let's go to let's rock and roll to the next section of the podcast and give out one of the most prestigious racing awards there is. And we are going to hand out a Wheelman of the Week. And we've got three solid candidates. I'll take the second one.
I'll take the last one.
I'll take the first one then. Jason Pursley wins all 3 USAC races at Eldora for the 4 Crown Nationals. Also won the Great Lakes Sprint Cars race out there on Friday night. So he goes 4 for 5 on future wins for the weekend at Eldora.
I will take the next one here. We got Aaron Reitzel and Rico Abreu. Each of them stole a win from each other at They weren't at Eldora this weekend, were they?
They sure were.
Yep.
Shit. Each of them stole a win from each other. And those two were going at it all weekend. It's just good, hard racing. So I don't know if is that one Wheelman or those two co
I put them in there together because I feel like that's not going to really matter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sounds like we got some collusion going on here.
Yeah, last one. As we talked about Truck Series, Eugene Gregorich had a hell of a race winning the truck race at Jefferson.
I'm just going to come out and say it. I think Jason Pursley.
Yep.
Dude damn near swept the weekend at Eldora. And he fell short because Rico Abreu won the race. So
yep.
That's where my money's going.
Yeah. If you want me to crown, I don't have anything to say. It's already been decided. So we are officially giving Jason Pursley. Reach out to us, send us a DM, and we'll be in contact with you. Get you your award. So first time winner for us, I think.
Yep.
First timer. Yeah. So we'll be reaching out to you. Pay attention, look in your DMs, and be looking forward to giving you that award and some possible partnerships in the future. So Jason Pursley.
Easy there. Don't overpromise.
Yeah. So let's hop into you guys want to talk just what we got on the docket here coming up, or
yeah, I say just one or two, just mention them real briefly, kind of ones you're keeping eyes on.
Dirt super late models schedules out.
Well, schedule's out for everything.
We got Flow Racing Night in America. That actually just got canceled. I saw that. But Lucas is at Brownstown. So Luke Soil touched on that earlier. Good points battle. And they'll be putting on a show at Brownstown.
Jumping to some open wheel stuff, mainly focused on sprint cars. The USAC sprint cars are going to be at Paragon and Butler. The World Sprint cars are going to be at Millstream and Sharon Speedway. And then High Limit will be at Bridgeport and Path Valley. Of note, High Limit's actually a Saturday, Sunday show.
All right. Looking on the asphalt side of things, I'll just touch on a few briefly that I kind of have an eye on. Martinsville's got a big one this week in the Valley Star Credit Union 300 for the late model stocks. They got 78 cars, I believe, on the entry list.
I think 79 was the official number.
Yep. And one of our guys will be headed up there, Ty Majeski. Kind of snuck that one in on there on us.
Yep.
So he'll be headed up there to try to get himself a clock. Obviously, the NASCAR series are headed to Kansas, as we had mentioned. And then kind of one other one as we start to think ahead to December, the ASA Southern Super Series, they head to Five Flags for their Blizzard Series races. So thinking ahead to December when we're talking about the snowball, guys are going to be wanting to get laps in down at Five Flags.
Yep.
That's the few I'm keeping my eye on.
Cool. Let's get into some NASCAR picks. Critical time of year. Can't even say it, but I just had a total brain lock and forgot to set my fantasy lineup this past weekend.
Oof.
Yeah.
Got him.
Came rolling inside. It was about 107, and I'm like, oh, I should fire up that NASCAR race and get the Packer game on. Look, locked. So crucial error on my part, but we'll bounce back. So looking at last week here, looks like tire changer. You get the honors of going first, and that is usually means that's because you did the worst. So
I did,
floor
but
is
I also
yours.
only I did, but I still had a decent showing with my race pick. Doesn't reflect fantasy. I did pretty damn good in fantasy, but we're talking about race picks here. I got two drivers on my mind here, and it's just a matter of which one I want to give you, or if you're thinking about my other one that I would leave on the table. Give me the he's just good. I'm thinking points racing here a little bit. He's gonna get me points, I feel like, regardless. Give me Blaney. I'm leaving one on the table for you here, bud.
We went back to back. See, this is a track I don't feel comfortable playing. I feel like that's he'll be spitting chocolate milk out the mufflers down the back stretch.
Wow.
I'm gonna go with my championship pick. Give me Christopher Bell.
I talked about 2311. They're going to be fast. But you know who's going to be faster? The 19. Give me Briscoe. This car with Martin Truex finished third last year in the Kansas 2 race.
How about the prior race?
This race earlier this year, our picks finished second, third, and fourth at the spring race. The man that won that race, and for lack of a better term, dominated that race, looking at laps led, Kyle Larson.
They're just a tick off right now. I can't trust them right now.
Yep, that's why I was debating which way I wanted to go, and this was the way that I went.
Briscoe's not even going to monkey with that freaking Roval. He's just going to call her around right now. That 19 car is going to be fast.
Okay. Any other final thoughts as we wrap up episode number 100?
That Valley Star credit race, I feel like, is going to be a barn burner.
Yep.
Full racing. Get a chance to watch on Saturday night. Tune into that one.
Usually there's some electricity at that event that's off track most times too.
And it doesn't happen during the feature either.
Yeah, it's those last chances.
Yeah.
This was the race a year ago where that guy jumped through that hood.
Yeah. It damaged the hood of the one guy that wasn't even involved in it.
Yup. So
Okay.
there you have it.
Well, you know what these two are looking for this weekend? They're looking for some extracurriculars. So, yeah, that wraps up episode 100. Talk to everything here. This Midwest Trucks, Knoxville Nationals for the Dirt Super Late Models, and New Hampshire and NASCAR, and a little look in at the playoffs, where we sit, and some where we're going from there. So, as I mentioned earlier in the episode, don't be afraid to like, comment, subscribe. That's what keeps fueling this engine. Send this to your best friend for their daily commute. And as always, we'll see y'all next week for another episode of the Tuesday Track Talk.